Hi everybody, I'm V. Ragasuma from Government Degree College, Vadrachalam. Today I'm going to explain you about thin layer chromatography. Actually, chromatography from Greek chroma, color, graphein to write. It is collectively termed for the set of separation of the mixture of components. The mixture is dissolved in the fluid called the mobile phase, which carries it through the structure holding another material called the stationary phase. The various constituents of the mixture travel different speeds, cause them to separate. This separation it is based on differential partitioning between the mobile phase and the stationary phase. So today we'll see about the thin layer chromatography. So thin layer chromatography, as I've told you, chromatography it is defined as the procedure by which solutes are separated by dynamic differential migration process in the system consisting of two phases, mobile phase and the stationary phase and the mobile phase. So two or more phases, one of which moves continuously in the given direction. The two phases are the stationary phase and the mobile phase. See here, a chamber, and here you can take a paper or a plate. In this chamber, here these are the solutions that we have. They get separated out later on. So the principle chromatography generally consists mobile phase. It consists of the mobile phase and stationary phase. Mobile phase refers to the mixture of substances to be separated, dissolved in the liquid or a gas. The stationary phase is porous solid matrix through which the sample contained in the mobile phase percolates. Interaction between the mobile phase and the stationary phase result in the separation of the mixture of the compounds. So generally the applications of chromatography, there are different applications. It is used for the separation of amino acids, proteins, carbohydrates. It is used for the analysis of drugs, hormones, vitamins, helpful for qualitative and quantitative analysis of complex mixtures. The technique, it is useful for the determination of the molecular weight of the proteins. Here, different types I have explained. Paper chromatography are having thin layer chromatography, gel chromatography, column chromatography, ion exchange, gel filtration, gas liquid, affinity, so on. So these chromatographies, previously, I have given you the detailed explanation for the paper chromatography. And today's class, in detail, we'll see about the thin layer chromatography. So coming to the history of the development. 1906 chromatography, it was developed by Michael Tishwell. In 1942, partition chromatography was developed by Martin and Sinch. In 1961, paper chromatography, it was discovered by Shahan Bain. So this was the historical development of the chromatography, the separation technique. So chromatography, it's nothing but color to write. It's a separation. It's a separation. Greek word chroma is color and graphein is to write. That was the actual meaning in Greek. Okay, this was a laboratory technique for separation of mixtures. Now, chromatography, yeah, I've told you, it is a laboratory technique for separation of the mixtures. The mixture dissolved in the fluid, that is the mobile phase. It carries through the structure holding another material called stationary phase. Various constituents of the mixture travel at different speeds and they cause to separate. The separation, it is based on the differential partitioning between the mobile phase and the stationary phase. So chromatography, here subtly you can see differences in the compound partition coefficient results in the differential retention on the stationary phase and thus effect of the separation. You can see the separation. Chromatography can be the preparative or the analytical technique. So the purpose for the preparative is to separate the components of the mixture and later we use. And thus it is even for the purification we use. Chromatography it is employed for the preparation as well as for the purification. Now let us see the types. So before coming to the thin layer, let us see the classification. So basically the chromatography, it is divided to adsorption, partition, ion exchange and affinity chromatography. Again, the partition chromatography, it is liquid-liquid chromatography, gas-liquid chromatography, and gas-solid chromatography. Now let us see the types of the techniques for the chromatography. So how the techniques by the chromatographic bed shape. Column chromatography, planar chromatography, paper chromatography, thin layer chromatography. So here the techniques by chromatographic bed shape we do. Depending on the bed shape, it's nothing but column we prepare, planar, paper, and thin layer. Now here techniques by which physical state of the mobile phase. Depending on the mobile phase physical state, the different chromatographic techniques. Gas chromatography, liquid chromatography are the techniques by the physical state mobile phase. What is gas? That is gas chromatography and the liquid chromatography. Depending upon the physical state of the mobile phase, you can have gas chromatography and liquid chromatography. Affinity chromatography. It is the supercritical fluid chromatography. So techniques of the chromatography, it is the plane as well as the column. In the plane, you can see paper as well as thin layer. So paper chromatography, it was discussed in the techniques of the chromatography. Paper chromatography was discussed for you. So chromatography, one will be the plane one, the other one will be the column. So in the plane chromatography, you'll be having paper as well as thin layer. So paper chromatography, it was introduced by the Schonbein, and the paper chromatography, it is considered to be simplest and most widely, this paper chromatography, it is considered to be the simplest and most widely used for the chromatographic techniques because of its applicability to isolation, identification, and quantitative determination of the organic and inorganic compounds. So unknown substances can be carried out mainly by the flow of solvents, specifically designed filter paper. Two types of paper chromatographies: paper adsorption chromatography, paper partition chromatography. And here the principle is nothing but the depending on the RF values we have to do. We have done. So stationary phase and the papers, we use different papers, filter papers of different numbers. We use them. So that is the way we do the chromatography, paper chromatography. And coming to the thin layer chromatography, today actually what we discuss, thin layer chromatography is widely employed laboratory technique. It is almost similar to paper chromatography. So instead of using the stationary phase paper, it involves a stationary phase of thin layer of adsorbent like silica gel, alumina, or cellulose. Compared to the paper, it is advantage of faster runs, thin layer, and it gives the better separations and choice between different adsorbents will be there for us in the thin layer chromatography. So thin layer chromatography we'll see in detail. So here thin layer chromatography, it is a type of planar chromatography. It is widely used by the researchers in the field of phytochemicals and in the field of biochemistry and so forth to identify the components in the compound mixture like alkaloids, phospholipids, and amino acids. It is semi-quantitative method consisting of analysis, high performance. It is semi-quantitative method consisting of analysis. HPLC, it is high pressure, thin layer chromatography. It is more sophisticated and more precise quantitative version. And we'll see the thin layer principle behind this one. So coming to the principle, here, it is similar to that of other chromatographic methods. It is similar to that of other chromatographic methods, thin layer chromatography, it is based on the principle of separation. It is based on the principle of separation, and the separation depends upon the separation. It depends upon the relative affinity of the compounds towards stationary and the mobile phase. The compounds under the influence of the mobile phase travel driven by the capillary action. The compounds under the influence of the mobile phase, they are driven by the capillary action, travel over the surface of the stationary phase. During this movement, the compounds with higher affinity to stationary phase travel slowly, others travel faster. Thus, separation of the components in the mixture can be achieved. Once the separation occurs, the individual components are visualized as spots as a respective level of travel on the plate. Their nature of characters are identified by means of suitable detection techniques. I'm repeating. So, thin layer chromatography, it is based on the principle of separation. Separation depends upon the relative affinity of the compounds towards the stationary and the mobile phase. The compounds under the influence of the mobile phase keeps on moving. It is driven by the capillary action. It travels over the surface of the stationary phase. During this movement, the compounds with high affinity to travel the stationary phase travel slowly while the other one travels faster. And one will be traveling slow, the other one will be traveling faster. That is the principle. So as this traveling speed changes, the retention will also change. And thereby separation of the components in the mixture is achieved. Once the separation occurs, the individual components are visualized as spots. With the coloring agent, they are visualized as spots, different colored spots we can see at different respective level of the travel on the plate. At different distances, we can observe the spots. So their nature and character are identified by means of suitable detection techniques. So there are different detection techniques. So depending on them, so thin layer, it has more advantages as the equipment here, the principle, not only the principle, it is more advantageous. It is very simple. Equipment is very simple. Chromatogram development time is very shorter. It is almost about 1 hour. So stationary phase choice is wide. So you have different choices. And recovery of the separated compounds is fast and easy. Separation efficiency is high. Identification of separated components is also easy. So this is more advantageous technique. So equipment simple, the chromatogram development time, it is very less. So stationary phase choice, you have more. Recovery of the separated components is fast and easy. Separation efficiency is also high. Identification of separated components is easy. Now we'll see the system components. System components, you are having 3 components. So as it is advantages, I've told you, sensitivity is very high. Here this system sensitivity is very high. You'll be having well-defined spots formed, 100-fold increase in the sensitivity you can see. And preparation is also possible with thick layers are used, stationary phase is chemically inert. Okay, so many advantages you are having for the thin layer chromatography. So coming to the components, you are having TLC plates, TLC chamber, mobile phase. So in this components, a separation of components in mixture on thin layer is similar to that of, it is almost similar to that of paper chromatography. Here the advantage over the paper chromatography is, it is having the supporting media. The thin layer what you prepare, it is having the supporting medium. Hence the separation maybe it is based on the adsorption or partition or ion exchange or gel filtration. Compounds can be detected even at low concentrations. Here the principle depends upon the supporting medium. So whatever you do, the supporting medium. Here principle, we have mentioned earlier, differential adsorption components on the stationary phase and the differential migration of the components or differential ion exchangeability. So the way the factors influencing RF values are almost same as those of wish controlled RF values in paper chromatography. Previous session. RF values can be affected by thickness of the layer between 200 micrometers also. Okay, now coming to the preparation of the thin layers on the glass plates. So thin layer chromatography plates, preferably ready-made with stationary phase. So a brief introduction is given before explaining the system components. Now we'll see in the components. TLC plates, thin layer chromatography plates. Preferably they were made with the stationary phase. These are stable, as I've told you, chemically inert plates where a thin layer of the stationary phase is applied on its whole surface area. The stationary phase on the plate is of uniform thickness and it is in a fine particle size. So it should be uniform with the fine particle size and it is applied in a thin layer manner. Now coming to TLC chamber. This is used for development of TLC plate chamber. Whatever you do, it is used for the development of the TLC plate. The chamber maintains a uniform environment inside for proper development of spots. It also prevents evaporation of the solvents and keeps the process dust free. So for the purity sake and not evaporation of the solvents and uniform environment for proper development of the chromatogram, this chamber will be useful. And coming to the mobile phase, it comprises of solvent or solvent mixture. The mobile phase used should be particulate free. It shouldn't have any particles, completely in the dissolved state, and it should be pure for proper development of the TLC spots. The solvent recommended, it is chemically inert with the sample. It shouldn't react with the sample. That is nothing but the stationary phase. So these are the components for the TLC. Now, how the filter paper? Here we are taking a filter paper. This is moisture in the mobile phase and to be placed inside the chamber. This helps to develop a uniform rise in the mobile phase over the length of the stationary phase. This is the TLC chamber and TLC plate. Okay, here the spotting line and the mobile phase you can see. Here this is nothing but the plate. This is TLC plate. Nothing but just it acts as the filter paper. Okay, it acts as the filter paper. So it's nothing but it's not the paper, it is just the slide. It is a slide. So a TLC slide, thin layer, this glass slide is taken. Here again a line is there. Here the spots on this TLC plate. A slurry we have prepared. Already these are the developed plates. Here we have kept the mixture spots and later on kept in the chamber and in the mobile phase. This mobile phase should touch only the plate, the slurry, whatever thin layer you have prepared, only that it touches. It doesn't touch the sample mixture which we have kept the dots. And thereby taking out this Adsorbent, whatever is it, it absorbs them, here, this mobile phase, and thereby it moves on the plate. So later on, the components get separated according to their speed, different speeds. Now we'll see the plate preparation, how we are doing. Here a previous diagram just shown you the TLC plate in the chamber, which is inserted in the mobile phase. And the sample mixture, it is kept as a spots. Thereon they get separated. Now coming to the plate preparation, TLC plates are usually commercially available with standard particle size ranges to improve the reproducibility. Here, I've told you commercially they are available TLC plates. They have the standard particle size and they are uniform so that the reproducibility will be more. It will be good. The chromatogram, whatever you develop, will be good. They are prepared by mixing the adsorbent like silica gel, alumina, okay, with small quantity of inert binder like the calcium sulfate, gypsum, which it's a good binder, binds with the, it acts as a binding for the plate, for the glass plate. It acts as a good binder, and thereby water. Already commercially available one will be taken. That one, how it is prepared is by they mix up the adsorbents such as silica gel, binding material, calcium sulfate, water. Again, this is spread as a thin slurry on the unreactive carrier of the sheet. Unreactive carrier of the sheet. Usually glass, thick aluminum foil or the plastic can be taken. So thick slurry on the unreactive carrier sheet, usually the glass can be taken or thick aluminum foil or the plastic. So the resultant plate, it is dried and then activated by heating in the oven for 30 minutes at 110 degrees centigrade. The thickness of the adsorbed adsorbent layer, it is typically it's a 0.1 to 0.25 mm for analytical purpose and 0.5 to 20 mm for the preparative TLC. Okay, in this way the plate is prepared and these plates are commercially available for us. Generally we buy them and we start doing our preparation or separation process. Now the procedure we'll see. See, preparation, the thin layer, as I have told you, preparation we have seen. The layer, it is having throughout the coating material we are using suspension slurry in the liquid. The layers I have told you how we have prepared. That prepared one, it is commercially available and we are buying. So this layer is prepared by three methods. One is the preparation, plate preparation only we can do before going to the procedure of the chromatography. Plate preparation we have seen, that commercially available plates we buy and we do the chromatography process, separation process. So generally this preparation plate can be employed by different methods. So almost of 6 methods of plate preparations are there. One is a pouring method. One is the other one is a dipping method, spraying method, spreading method, pre-coated plates, which was given. Thereby we can see the development of the pre-coated plates will be there, and then development chromatograph. So the pouring method, glass plate is placed on the level surface and the slurry is poured on it. The plate is tilted back and forth to spread the slurry. Dipping method, coming to the dipping method, the adsorbent is dissolved. The adsorbent, it is dissolved and in the chloroform or CHCl3 plus methanol mixture. Two plates are joined back to back and are dipped into the solution and are kept for some time. The solvent is then volatilized. By this dipping method also, this chromatographic plate can be prepared. Thin layer on the glass plate can be prepared. And the next one, a spraying method. The slurry is sprayed on the glass plate with sprayer. Spreading method, the fourth one for preparing the plate preparation, the fourth method, spreading method. This is widely used. The slurry is placed in the applicator and this applicator is moved over the glass plate. Sometimes the applicator is held stationary and the Plate is pulled through the slurry. The slurry layers are dried and then activated at 110 degrees. See, in all the above methods, the adsorbent layer adheres firmly adhesive like calcium sulfate binder is added. Okay, so by four methods you can prepare this plate preparation. So these are prepared and commercially available for us. If we want, we can prepare by these four methods. I'm repeating: pouring method, dipping method, spraying method, spreading method, and pre-coated plates also available for us. Okay, commercially, thickness of 0.1 to 0.2 mm they are available. So if you want to prepare commercially available, and if you want, we can prepare by pouring method, dipping method, spraying method, and spreading. Now we'll see the procedure, development of the chromatogram. First thing is application. So application, micro syringes are used for the purpose. Capillary tubes can also be used for this purpose. So micro syringes and capillary tubes can also be prepared. They can be used for the application, chromatogram preparation. We can use them. Now the development of the chamber. So in the development of the chamber is made of the glass and the plate is placed at an angle of 45 degrees. It is kept at the angle of the 45 degrees. The bottom of the tank, it is covered up to the nearly 1 mm height of the solvent, and three sides of the chamber are lined with solvent impregnated papers. Top is covered with the lid. The entire chamber is saturated with solvent paper. It is completely with the solvent paper. Okay, so this way, yeah, different how and now this is the way how we do the procedure. Just application of the sample using the micro syringes and the capillary tubes. Then you have to place it in the, yep, already we have prepared the plates, and there using the micro syringes and capillary tubes you apply the sample and you put in the development chamber, which is made of the glass and the plate, okay, at 45 degrees. And bottom of the tank, it is covered up nearly 1 mm height of the solvent, and three sides of the chamber except of the top side, they are lined with the solvent impregnated papers. Top is covered with the lead. Entire chamber is saturated with the solvent paper. Okay, so the stationary phase, it is applied on the plate uniformly and then allowed to dry and stabilize. Okay, these days, however, the ready-made plates are preferred. Okay, with a pencil, a thin mark is made at the bottom. With a pencil, a thin mark is made at the bottom of the plate to apply the sample spots. Okay, micro syringes we can take. With a pencil, a thin mark is made at the bottom of the plate, just like a paper chromatography. And on this marking, we go for the sample spots. Then the sample solutions are applied on the spots marked on the line in the equal distances. The mobile phase is poured into the thin layer chamber to a leveled few centimeters above the chamber bottom. A moistened filter paper in the mobile phase is placed. Here it's not the filter paper, it is the plate we are placing in the mobile phase. Here it's typed wrong. A moist it is not the filter paper, it is the prepared plate in the mobile phase placed in the the slide is kept and a moistened filter paper in the mobile phase is placed in the inner wall of the chamber to maintain the equal humidity. As I've told you on the three sides, on three sides this paper will be used, but in the center we'll be placing the plate. See, at the bottom it is covered with nearly 1 mm height of the solvent, and three sides it is lined with the solvent impregnated papers. Solvent impregnated papers is nothing but moistened filter paper in the mobile phase. It is placed in the inner wall of the chamber to maintain the equal humidity. Now the plate, what I have told you here, the plate, it prepared with the sample spotting is placed in the TLC chamber so that the side of the plate with the sample line is facing the mobile phase. Then the chamber is closed with the lid. Okay, I'm repeating here. First, just like the paper chromatography, a mark with a pencil mark, a thin mark is made at the bottom of the plate to apply the sample spots at equal distance. Then the sample solutions are applied on the spots marked on the equal distances. Okay, so at equal distances. Now the mobile phase is poured into thin layer chamber to level few centimeters above the chamber bottom. A moistened filter paper in the mobile phase is placed on the inner wall of the chamber to maintain the equal humidity. Okay, now the plate prepared with the sample plot, it is placed in the chamber. So in the chamber, it is covered to maintain the moisture level, humidity level. It is covered with the filter papers. Then the plate, whatever we prepare by lining at the bottom, then placing the sample spots with the capillary tubes and the micro syringes. We have placed the samples, and then this plate, whatever we prepared, this plate, whatever we have prepared the thin slurry on the plate, and then we have applied the sample, and that prepared plate with the sample spotting is placed in thin chamber so that the side of the plate with the sample line is facing the mobile face. Then the chamber is closed with the lid. So the next step is the plate, it is then immersed such that the sample spots are well above the level of the mobile face and they're not immersed in the solvent. Okay, so previously in the diagram I've shown you, here the diagram, the sample is not getting immersed in the mobile face. Only the plate is getting immersed in the mobile face. In such a way, the plate is then immersed such that the sample spots are well above the level of the mobile face. They're not immersed in the solvent as shown in the picture for development. Now, allow sufficient time for the development of spots. Allows you give some time for the development of the spots. As the mobile phase, it is being absorbed by the adsorbent. As it is moving along the sample spots, it gets with the different speeds of the stationary phase and the mobile phase. So the mixture will be containing different components. Each component will be moving with different speeds and they get stopped. So with that speed, different speeds, one will be slow and one component will be fast, their speed. And they move on the plate and they stop at one place. And thereby the components, they remove the plates and thereby allow that to dry. The sample spots can now be seen in the UV light chamber or any other method that is recommended. Okay, so the solvents that we are using here, I'm just giving you a brief idea. So how it is developing. Here you see the plate is taken. The plate is taken. It is lined here. Here, this is the pre-coated plate with the slurry we have done here by spraying method, for the dipping method, pouring method, spreading method, or pre-coated plate we have bought. To that we have lined here, and then at equal distance the sample solution mixture, it is kept at different lines. And after that, this one, after applying the samples with the micro syringes or the pipettes, now this is placed in the chamber, the TLC chamber. Three sides it is having here, and this slide, whatever slide is there, it is dipped in the solvent mixture. It is dipped in the solvent mixture, and so that the solvent doesn't touch. It is dipped in such a way that only the slurry, the stationary phase is getting dipped and not the sample one. After that, after dipping this in the chamber, here you can see the chamber, it is having three sides covered with the filter papers, moistened filter paper. It is moistened with the solvent so that the entire chamber is with the equal environment. And then it is covered with the lid so that the solvent doesn't get dried up. Here, it maintains the different environments. Here, the spots, as the mobile phase, here the mobile phase is being absorbed by this adsorbent stationary phase, and thereby this mobile phase is moving. As it is moving, even it is touching the sample mixture components, and they have different speeds here. They, with the different speeds, even they move. One will be left down, one will be left up, and one in the middle. In that way, the components of the mixture get separated out. After some time, complete development takes place. After this complete development, here, what happens? Then you put it outside, this take out the slide, this TLC plate, and you dry it. Now we'll see how the development of the TLC plate is there, how it separates into different colored spots. Here, let me give you before analysis, what are the types of adsorbents we are using. Here, coating material cellulose I'm using. Here, it is neutral nature. Partition can be done. Water soluble components can be done. Here, Kieselguhr, that here I'm giving you the examples of the adsorbents. Kieselguhr, neutral nature, chemical nature, and the partition principle it is having. Strongly hydrophilic substances, sugars, steroids can be done. Alumina, the coating material, if you take it, is basic in nature. Adsorption and partition can be done. It is basic and the neutral substances, alkaloids and dyes. Silica gel, if you take it, is acidic in nature. Adsorption and partition can be done. Neutral substances, amino acids, sugars, lipids can be separated. So these are the types. It's not given in the slide, but just I'm explaining you adsorbents. So coating material, you can take cellulose, Kieselguhr, alumina, and the silica gel. And the solvents, what we are using are, for the TLC, ethyl acetate isopropanol, water, pyridine. Petrol ether at 60 to 70 degrees. Okay, diethyl ether, glacial acetic acid mixture. Ethyl acetate isopropanol, water, pyridine mixture. Petrol ether, diethyl ether, glacial acetic acid mixture, and butanol, glacial acetic acid, water mixture you can take. Different solvents differing in their polarities can be best preferred. Now, okay, so those are the adsorbent types and the solvent types which we take for the thin layer chromatography. Now let us go for the detection of the spots. Now the procedure is done and it is shown in the diagram. And now we'll see the detection of spots formed by separated substances. So analysis how we are doing. So the detection of spots formed by separated mixtures, how we are doing. So the spots of the separated components are detected, located by spraying appropriate color producing reagents on the spots. These reagents are characteristics compounds suitable for inorganic cation or organic molecules. Here, fluorescent analyte like quinine can be detected under black light. Often, small light of the fluorescent compound, usually manganese activated zinc silicate, it is added to the adsorbent that allows the visualization of the spots under the UV chamber light at 254 nanometers. The adsorbent layer will thus fluoresce the light green by itself, but the spots of the analyte quench this fluorescence. Iodine vapors are also generally unspecific color reagents. The specific color reagents into this TLC plate is dipped or which are sprayed on the plate exist. Potassium permanganate, here the oxidation takes place, even the bromine. In case of the lipids, the chromatography may be transferred to PVDF. It can be transferred to PVDF membrane and then subjected to further analysis, for example, mass spectroscopy, a technique known as Far Eastern blotting. Once visible, the RF value or the R retardation factor for each spot can be determined by dividing the distance of the product here. This is a very important topic, point for you to remember during analysis. RF value is equal to distance traveled by the stationary phase by the distance traveled by the solvent front using the initial spot. With the reference of this RF value, we can go for the reference. Okay, in this way, you go. The spotting of different can be detected and located. The spraying colors, reagents. Here, these are characteristic advantages for this technique. It is simple process with short development time. Here, coming to the advantages, it is simple process with short development time. It helps with the visualization of separated compounds easily here separated compound spots easily. And the method, here the method helps to identify the individual components. Here I told you it has great advantages. It is having great advantages. The method helps to identify. You can identify individual components. Simple process. It is the simple process with short development helps in visualization of separated component spots easily. Methods help. These methods help to identify the individual components. Okay, so equipment, it's almost very simple. Chromatogram development time, it's very shorter. Stationary phase choice wider. Recovery of the separated components fast, easy. Separation efficiency is also high, and the identification of the separated components is easy, and the sensitivity is also very high. So well-defined spots you can get it because of the head sensitivity. And preparation, it is possible with even with the thick layers. Okay, so stationary is almost chemically inert. Okay, a simple process with short development time. Visualization of separate compounds easy. Here the method develops to identify the individual components. Helps in isolation of the most compounds. Separation fast. Selectivity of the components is high. Purity standards of the given sample can be accessed easily. It is cheaper chromatographic technique. Now coming to the applications. Here we have seen a very simple technique and it has a lot of advantages. And now coming to the applications, we can check the purity here. We can check the purity of the given samples. Identification of compounds like acids, alcohols, proteins possible, alkaloids, amines, antibiotics, and more. Evaluate the reaction process by assessment of the intermediates, reaction codes, and so on. To purity of the samples for purification process, we can see, and it helps to check the performance of the other separation process. Being a semi-quantitative technique here, the TLC it is used more for the rapid quality measurements than the quantitative process. It is rapid, gives result easy in handling and inexpensive, very cheaper as we discussed. It finds its application as one of the most widely used for chromatographic techniques. And let me give you some of the best examples of the applications. Here, separation of the sugars in the fruit juices by TLC can be done. A 3 ml of ethanol is added to 1 ml of the fruit juice centrifuged to remove proteins. Supernatant solution, it is placed in the spot as a spot on the plate. Okay, so the chromatogram developed using the plate. The solvent used is ethyl acetate, isopropanol, water, pyridine. Plate is dried in the cold air and the sugars are identified by spraying aniline diphenylamine reagent. The plate, it is heated to 100 degrees. Different colors are given by different sugars. Okay, so separation of sugars in the fruit juices by TLC can be done. Separation of sugars in fruit juices by TLC can be done. The solvent used is here ethyl acetate, isopropanol, water, pyridine in 26 ml, ethyl acetate 14 ml, isopropanol, water 7 ml, pyridine 2 ml. That plate, okay, plate dried in cold air and sugars are identified by spraying by aniline and diphenylamine reagent. Plate again we heat it to 100 degrees, different colors you can see, and you can. This is the best application, separation of sugars in the fruit juices by TLC can be done. And one more example application I'm giving you, separation of lipids. Silica gel G plates are used in the process. The plate is activated at 110 degrees for 1 hour. Some amount of the sample it is placed on the plate at the end of. Then 1% solution of the lipid is used. The chromatogram developed, the lipids are identified by spraying dichlorofluorescent solution. The plate is viewed in the UV light at 270 nanometers. Green fluorescence we can see. The spots are identified using the 50% H2SO4, then heating in 110 degrees for 10 minutes. So separation of liquids can be done. Applications, best applications, separation of sugars in fruit juices, separation of lipids. Okay, so this is the way we do the chromatographic techniques. So I hope everybody have understood thin layer chromatography. Once again, we have seen the introduction, historical development of the chromatography, types of the chromatography techniques, and in that TLC, just like paper chromatography, here we use the plate, there the plate, there paper, and here the plate. So the system components we have seen, TLC plates, TLC chamber, mobile phase, and the here the filter paper, it is surrounded around the moisture filter paper is surrounded around the chamber, and in that we place the plate, spotted plate here. Okay, the plate separation, the plate preparation procedure, how we have to do. Then applications and the advantages. Okay, after procedure we have seen the development in during as with the diagram. Then we have analyzed advantages, applications of PLCs discussed. I hope everybody have understood this session. So TLC principal components. Here the filter paper, it's nothing wrong with this. Here the filter paper surrounds the chamber, total TLC chamber. In the filter paper surrounded chamber, plate is placed. Okay, again the prepared plate is placed. Procedure, how we do, and here diagrammatically it is represented. Then analysis is done, advantages and applications are discussed. I hope everybody have understood this session. Thank you.